Everybody, we are live at the state capitol of Texas in Austin, Texas, where we're going to be delivering petitions for Robert Robertson. In just a couple of minutes here, we're gathering at 11th and Congress on the intersection right in front of the Texas state capitol. So this is Shavas Watson and Miranda is there too, and we're going to be delivering thousands of petition signatures that have been signed by Death Penalty Action folks and others, and we're grateful for you all watching, and here they go.
Thank you for being here. Anyway, nice to meet you. You're here in Austin? Yes, sir. I'm working on KXC. Oh, perfect. You know, Mike Rush. I got a Mike Shavas Watson, CHIVAS, WATSON, Death Penalty Action. Here with Miranda and DJ. Real quick, once again, if you could just say and spell your first and last name and who you're with again. Shavas Watson, Executive Director of Service Agency working for 512 based in Austin, also a loyal volunteer to Death Penalty Action. Standing here with Miranda and DJ. We are seeking to fight the state of Texas to save Robert Robertson, innocent on death row. Okay. Can you briefly explain Robert Robertson's case and why Death Penalty Action believes his execution should be halted? Yeah, sure. You know, we're here to amplify. Just look at me. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, just look at me. You're good. You know, we're here to amplify Robert Robertson's case, just like we do everyone else's. Yet Robert's is a bit unique. Robert's case is the first case on death row for the shaken baby syndrome. And what we're saying is there's too much doubt in the case. Robert is innocent. There is too much doubt in this case. He has sat on death row now for years on top of years. His story has always been maintained. It hasn't changed. And most folks around this state and around the country are just saying, no, he's guilty. And they don't know that Robert suffers from autism. Just like so many of our other Americans who suffer with a disability, Robert does as well. So the truth is we don't know what happened that day with his daughter. But we do know that he didn't intentionally kill anyone. He did not have any knowledge therein or thereof of killing his daughter. Again, the shaken baby syndrome, I know the Innocence Project is saying that it's debunked, but we're saying that there's way too much doubt. And Anderson County wanted to ignore this instead of granting him the relief that he deserves. And we're simply tired of it. Earlier this year, we lost Ivan Cantu. We lost Arthur Burton. We lost Travis Mullins. Last year, we lost Jedediah Murphy. We're hoping that this state finds Ruben Gutierrez innocent of his crimes. But today, we're here to focus simply on Robert Robertson, his innocence. And we're going to deliver thousands of petitions that have been signed by individuals around the world that not only agree that we should end the death penalty in America, but that a state like Texas should stop executions. We are executing far too many innocent people, and an eye for an eye leaves us both blind. Again, there's too much doubt here.
Estimate how many people have signed the petitions, and what message do you believe it sends to Governor Abbott and the Texas government?
We're at thousands. I think last time I checked, we were somewhere in the 20,000s. You know, and what Governor Abbott should embrace or receive from this effort is that there's so many more people than just Texans that are looking at Texas as a model. All around the world, our volunteers, our supporters, folks that chase justice with us, they are looking at Texas and demanding that the state legislator, the governor, the Speaker of the House, the Attorney General, who himself was on trial this year, see that they've committed violations after violations regarding constitutional rights. Again, we have an Eighth Amendment issue here. This is cruel and unusual to move forward with an execution for an individual that suffers a disability, but that has still been able to maintain his innocent claim this entire time. So we're hoping that Governor Abbott, who was just in San Antonio a couple of days ago for a rally on fentanyl awareness, we hope that he's carrying that same level of care today, because he holds the power to grant Robert clemency. Again, we understand that those on that side demand that folks be killed, but we're asking, what if it happened to you? What if it happened in your home? What if it was somebody on your street? Would you seek to clear up the misunderstanding? Because this is a clear misunderstanding that Robert is dealing with. A clear misunderstanding. So we're hoping that Governor Abbott sees that it's not just those of us in Austin, as Miranda and I are here in Austin, but we've got a bipartisan effort with many supporters from Dallas, from Austin, from Houston, San Antonio, from East Texas, Abilene, West Texas, but also in hotspots like St. Louis, Missouri, Atlanta, Georgia, where Cop City is being built, from Washington, D.C., where every summer we hold our Starving for Justice rally to amplify that executions should be done away with. We've got supporters who have signed this petition from South Carolina, where they just signed another execution warrant after killing Khalil Owens last month, after having not done an execution in 13 years. We want Governor Abbott to know that the pressure is on him. We want to know, is he looking in the mirror every morning and seeing himself as a member of the population, or does he think that he's above everybody else? Again, we want him to simply see that we've sacrificed our time, our efforts, and we're doing this for an innocent man. And we hope that he hears us and grants clemency.
If the governor, if he just happened to just appear right now, what would you say to him if he had the opportunity?
I'd say, good afternoon, Governor. Can we talk privately for a second? A buddy of mine is on death row and he's innocent. I wouldn't try to talk around things with him. I wouldn't try to appeal to, other things. I would ask him if we could privately have a conversation about Robert. Tell him how I've gotten to know, tell him how some of us have known Robert for years. And if you knew Robert, suffering a disability just like you, Governor, could we simply shelve actions of seeing that this man is innocent. I would ask the governor, what if it was you? What if you made a terrible mistake, or what if we're there for a terrible outcome, but you couldn't respond appropriately or whatever because of your limitations? Could you see yourself in that same lens? And I wonder if he would hear. He hears a lot of other things. We want him to get off of his pedestal and come down to where people have voted for him. Where those who haven't voted for him, they've still stood by and observed and watched as his actions have taken place here in the state. And we want to do away with all the political jargon and simply add fair to do what's right. And if there's too much doubt, then he can be the intermediary. He can be the person in the middle and grant clemency. He can do that. I would simply ask him to grant clemency to Robert.
That's all I had. Is there anything I didn't ask that you'd like to add to final thoughts, final words?
I'd like for anybody who watches KXAN to understand that Robert is innocent, and if Texas carries this execution out tomorrow, that they will have killed an innocent man, an innocent guy, an innocent person. And this is something we can't take back.
Do you want to see if Miranda has anything she wants to
We
say?
have all these other things happening in Austin. This is some of the most severe. And the power is held right here in Austin, right here in downtown Austin.
What did you say, brother?
As you prepare to vote, as you prepare to advocate for your elected officials, are you talking to them about these injustices? Are you talking to them about how this can happen to people here in Austin? I want to challenge our KXAN listeners, our KXAN staff to look within. And again, put yourself in the position of a loved one, an impacted loved one, like Robert's family is, or like his supporters are. And if you could do that, would you agree with everything that we've done to simply amplify his innocence? I want KXAN listeners to embrace that. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you. Can I just get a quick shot of your t-shirt real quick? And then I'll say
Do you want to ask Miranda if she wants to add anything?
He said, would you like to ask Miranda if she want to add anything?
And you know, Andy, we've got a plethora of supporters that are women, and don't want to just hear from a guy like myself who's talking. Would you mind asking Miranda?
Yeah.
Let Miranda speak?
Absolutely, yeah. Are you able to hook her up with that microphone by chance?
Get a different angle for her. Of course.
Miranda, you'll just look right at me, and if I can get you to say and spell your first and last name, please.
Miranda Uribe, MIR
get your overall thoughts about today, why y'all are here, like you said, just like from the woman's side, what can you tell us all about this?
Yeah. Well, on this week when I found out that there was a denial of a stay of execution, it was heartbreaking. I think, I show up to a lot of the advocacy, different ways to advocate in the state, and I go to a lot of the executions, and it hurts every time I go more and more. And it's heartbreaking to see that this state that I've put so much trust in continues to bring such distrust in my community and with those that I work with. I'm a student at the University of Texas at Austin, and there's a lot of students talking about this right now and how they can get more involved. And as a youth and a student, it's really important just to get our voices heard. And, we're here to make a difference. And this is a complete unjust thing that's about to occur. And it breaks my heart. It hurts. And I'm here and ready to deliver these petitions and just keep fighting for the abolition completely of executions, but especially of ones of people with disabilities.
I guess what is your big, I think we all know, all of us together, but what can you hope for to come out of this? With everything that's scheduled for tomorrow, what do you hope can all transpire within the next 24 hours?
Well, I hope Abbott comes to his senses and realizes that this can't happen. This can't go through, and we need change. And he has the power to make the change and to make the difference. And I hope him seeing these and the Innocence Project and the Advocates for Autism, I hope he reads and gets to see the stacks and stacks and stacks of petitions to halt this execution and does not allow this.
I just got a text from my desk. It said, this was from AP on Twitter, the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has denied Robert Roberson's clemency petition. The board voted 6-0 to not recommend commutation of his death sentence, and 6-0 to not recommend a 180-day reprieve. Roberson is facing execution on Thursday. Do you have any reaction to that?
It's more than disappointing. It's heartbreaking, as Miranda said. We've got so much going on in Texas. Public school education is at risk. We have a homelessness issue bigger than ever. Domestic violence is up. Murders are up. DPS continues to champion around Austin as if they're the local police officers. And these are all local issues that are extremely serious, but I wouldn't say that they're as serious as a man facing execution when he's innocent. We have an 8th Amendment in place to protect us from cruel and unusual punishment, and it seems like the parole board or the pardon and parole board that they're only responding from whoever their political allies are. For 6 people to vote in favor of an execution of an innocent man, this scares us for what's to happen in the future. And again, to all of the listeners, we invite you to join this movement. We need now more people than ever. You automatically think because someone's on death row that they're guilty. This is a prime opportunity for you to see how Texas is killing people. And we will continue to fight all state-sponsored murders. It is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to Robert and his supporters. Because how many times do you have to say that you're innocent? How much courage do you have to have? Texas just shows that it doesn't matter. When an entire board can vote against clemency, it's more than discipline.
What happens next? Now that this just happened, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is we're going to follow through with delivering our petitions to the governor's office. Nothing stops. And then we'll be traveling to Huntsville to join other advocates to make sure that we speak as loudly, as deeply, as intimately as possible, hoping that we touch somebody. And even though the execution seems likely now, we will keep our heads up, never forget Robert's name, never forget his innocent claim, and carry that to the others that are on death row innocently, the others that are on death row and deserve clemency, the others that are guilty on death row but have changed their lives on death row and deserve their execution warrant, their death sentence to be removed. And we're challenging all of you who vote to vote differently, vote on the issues rather than the candidates, because this is an outstanding, extreme issue here in the state of Texas that affects us all. The fight continues.
That's all I had. Anything else? Any final words? Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I unfortunately have to run back to work. Are you okay doing that on your own? I have to run, but thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Miranda. Thank you for being present and speaking for all the students and for your leadership.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey y'all,
Gonna...
Hope everybody's still tuned in. We want to thank Miranda for the sacrifice that she made. We know that you all who are watching from afar, you would have made the same sacrifice. It's a colder day here in Texas.
Yes.
It's not so warm.
Shavas, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So you're all going to deliver those up to the governor's office now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll stay with you as long as the live stream holds. As you go up to do that, take it up to the ceremony office on the second floor.
Okay.
And you're prepared to go and do that now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're grateful for you being there in Austin. There's almost 100 people watching. So
all right.
I want to invite the people that are watching to share this live stream, whichever you're watching it, whatever channel you're watching it on. And we will stick with you as we do this. And as you're walking, I'm going to fill some people in on a few things. Okay.
All right. I appreciate it. We're gonna pause the video for just 2 seconds while I give DJ my phone to use as we walk into the Capitol.
All right.
All right.
All right. So there you heard it. We're going to be back with the live petition delivery as Shavas Watson and his friend TJ or DJ make their way to the state capitol. Where they are standing right now is on the sidewalk right in front of the Texas State Capitol at the intersection of 11th and Congress. So they get to walk up to the State House and go in and through security. So it'll be a few minutes while that's happening. And meanwhile, I've not heard anything yet. I'm going to actually take a look and just see if there's any news about this case. I know that earlier today, maybe it's still going on, there was a hearing from by the Texas a committee in, let's see if I can get the exact name of that. We've got it up on a link to it on our Twitter channel. Let's see here. Where are we? Actually, I can find it right over here. It's also, there's a link to it on the Death Penalty Action Facebook pages. The Texas Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence was having a meeting today, and I'm going to click and just see if it's still going on. Doesn't look like it. No, it looks like the hearing has ended. Well, maybe. Let me just double check that. So you can find the link to this. It is still, the meeting is still going on. So there's a link to that on the Death Penalty Action Facebook page and Twitter. And that is the Texas Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence. So watch for that. And hopefully there'll be a recording there. And also there's been a new capital habeas filing by Texas legislators themselves. And that's available to you on the petition itself. We put a link to that. So if you get to deathpenaltyaction.org and click on the petition itself, and then there is right at the top, it says breaking development. And that breaking development is that Robert Robertson, Texas lawmakers asked Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to stay the execution and consider evidence. And that's really the only thing that's left. If we don't get clemency, if there's not a recommendation for clemency, and even if there is, then what you have is the opportunity, and we've seen this before, the opportunity for the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to intervene and stay the execution and order an evidentiary hearing where the evidence that's never been heard in front of court could be heard. And that's the key thing that we need to keep in mind here in all of these cases. And so much of this is happening. There's many appeals that are made, and yet what gets in the way is procedure. Have they dotted all the T's? Have they met the deadlines or the I's? Or have they dotted all the I's? Have they crossed all the T's? Have they met all the deadlines? And if they've not, if the deadlines are passed, it's too late to even consider new evidence. And that's the problem that we have here. Is what matters more is procedure than the facts. And what the Innocence Project and others and now these Texas state legislators are saying is, let's have a re-examination of the facts in this contemporary moment, when we have a different understanding than what we presented to the jury all these years ago when this case was in front of a jury. And should that be too much to ask when somebody's life is in the balance? That's the question. So, let's see what's happening there. Shavas is still working to get us back on his to switch his device. So, I want to encourage everybody to go to deathpenaltyaction.org and sign a petition for all of the upcoming executions. That's where we can find the petitions for Robert Robertson, but also tomorrow at the same exact time, Derek Dearman is being executed in Alabama. And then we've got execution scheduled in South Carolina. Idaho just set a new date earlier today for Thomas Screech, who was on the gurney being executed back in February, and they couldn't get an IV going. So they stopped the execution. I was out there at the prison when that was happening. We didn't know what was going on. We were elated to find out that the execution hadn't happened. But the torture that they put that man through, and now that they're going to do again, what did they do is they've retrofitted the execution chamber and made it so that they can do a cut down. And apparently they're training to do not just stick a needle in an IV, but actually do a cut down, and it's more of a surgical procedure. So Idaho will be the third state this year to resume executions after more than a decade without executions. And Indiana is also trying to do that. They've set a date for December 18th. And that would make South Carolina, Utah, Idaho, and Indiana 4 states resuming executions in 2024 after not having any for more than a decade. Of course, Texas and Missouri and Oklahoma, Florida are continuing their execution sprees. So we're going to continue to watch and protest. So you can see, let's see, they're getting ready to just walk. They're going to have to walk all the way up that sidewalk and get inside. So it's going to be a few minutes while we wait for them. Here they go. While we wait for Shavas and his colleague to carry the Death Penalty Action.
I got you.
I want to give thanks to everybody who has gone to deathpenaltyaction.org to sign the petitions. We always try to make sure that there's a live delivery of petitions if we can.
Learn while we're here. Protest his execution. Are you a Texan? An innocent man named Robert Robertson is being killed.
Shavas is
and we're here
engaging people as he walks up
to deliver petitions to the governor because it's wrong. He's innocent. And we're here at the Capitol where the people's taxes are used to do all this construction. And we're just trying to find, is anybody local who can support us? It's all right. It's all right. Thank you.
See, this is why we pay him the big bucks, because he doesn't stop. I wish I could pay him big bucks. Shavas Watson is a volunteer for Death Penalty Action and a number of other organizations. His outfit is Working Group 512. They do a lot of different things, prisoner advocacy, and especially helping people who are getting out of prison, recover and resume their lives. It's important work that he does all over the state of Texas with others. And today, Shavas is representing Death Penalty Action to present the petitions that thousands of you have signed. I'll share that earlier today, the Innocence Project and an advocacy coalition concerned with autism presented over 100,000 petition signatures. That was just an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, 11:30 Central Time. That would have been. So that is. So these are on top of those petitions. Our thousands, and what we're and we're all in this boat together. That's the thing. So. In any case, let me get back to sharing with you what happened earlier today. Is this filing from, I guess it was late Monday. What's today? Today is Wednesday. On Monday, there was a petition that was denied, but today, let's see if we get this here. Texas House of Representatives wrote to respectfully request a stay of execution for Robert Robertson until the end of the 2025 legislative session so that the legislature can consider amendments to Article 11.073 and other state legislation that can affect the case. They wrote that we believe that Article 11.073 has not been a pathway to relief or even a new trial that the legislature intended in cases like Mr. Robertson's. Here, significant evidence, scientific and medical evidence that no jury has had a chance to hear now shows that natural and accidental causes can explain the death of Robertson's chronically ill daughter, Nikki. Not just the abusive shaking that the state argued at trial to have caused her death. It is beyond dispute that medical evidence presented in Mr. Robertson's trial in 2003 is inconsistent with modern scientific principles. So what we know is, let's see, they're going through security there.
Hey, the phones have to go through the metal detector, so we'll pause for a second.
Of course.
Okay.
No problem. So that's the good news here is that officials in the Texas State Capitol have no problem with us coming in to make these petition deliveries. But of course, everybody gets to be searched, and that's important. So as I was saying, the Texas legislators, more than I guess 80 Texas legislators are part of this move to try to halt this, and we saw this in Melissa Lucio also. I haven't seen yet if there's been a recommendation released from the Texas Department. I'm sorry, the Texas Pardon and Parole Board. Let me just look and see if there's any news there about that, because that could change everything as well. If they have recommended clemency, then we get to turn up the heat even more. And let's see what we get here. Latest news. Okay, this is as of 4 minutes ago. The State Pardon Board has voted not to recommend relief for Robert Robertson. And that is really not good. Not good. As you know, as you probably know, in Texas, we're approaching 600 executions. I think it's been 592 now.
Hey,
Go ahead,
we
Shabazz.
found the business office. Do you still want us to go to the ceremonial office?
No. If he can get into the business office, listen, Shabazz, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Shabazz? We just learned that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has denied a recommendation. They voted to not recommend. So now it's up to the governor to grant a reprieve or for the courts to step in. So that's why we were asking people to call. Go ahead and see if he can't get in there, and we're going to watch for that. We are asking people call Governor Abbott at 512-463-2000 and demand a halt to this execution now that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has declined to exercise its authority. Let's see what happens here.
Okay. Well, I was here to deliver thousands of petitions on behalf of Robertson to the governor, and I was wondering if this would be the appropriate place for the ceremonial. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It says they don't take it at the business office. Go to the ceremonial.
So business as usual is we're not paying attention to the public. So now we'll go up and see if the ceremonial office of Governor Abbott in Texas is open. Last time we tried to make one of these deliveries, nobody was there. The doors were locked. Allie Sullivan was making that petition delivery for Ramiro Gonzalez, and she ended up stuffing the petitions under the door. But we're delivering your petitions today. So we're grateful that to everybody that's gone to deathpenaltyaction.org. It's not just our petitions. We put them on top of those that are gathered by others, but we always make sure to have our own because we want to be able to update you. And if you sign somebody else's, I have yet to get an update by email from the Innocence Project on this case, on Rodney Reed's case, on Melissa Lucio's case. They don't keep you up to date with what's happening. And that's one of the things that we want to be able to do, which is why we maintain our own petition and invite people to sign ours as well as the others. And if you look at ours, you'll see it points to the Innocence Project petition. But it looks like the door is closed. We're going to see if Shabazz can get in there. And then, I will say that they did deliver their petition today, over 100,000 signatures. And that's good news that was delivered. And we're trying to deliver the Death Penalty Action Petition now. I'm not sure if Shabazz is quite sure where to go here, but I'm sure he'll find his way in a moment. Hey, brother on the camera, I think it must be on the other end there of the rotunda. Looks like he's walking in the right direction.
I believe so.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
And then just walk in with him. If the door opens and he's able to go in, go all the way in, please.
Legislative reference awkward. Not the ceremonial office.
Shabazz, it's off. It's right off the rotunda.
Right off the
Right
rotunda.
off the rotunda.
So
There should be a big sign that says Governor's Office.
It says Governor's Public Reception Room.
Yeah.
He said that's it.
he said, yeah. Trying to close.
So we're going to see what happens here.
The reception room. Locked.
Hey, knock on the door. Sometimes there's an officer in there.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
The governor's ceremonial office. All right, my name is Shep Swanson on behalf of Death Penalty Action to deliver thousands of petitions on behalf of Robert Robertson. We did unfortunately get the news that Texas Board of Parole had denied clemency. Ma'am, I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to the governor. I'm wondering if you care about somebody that's innocent on death row. I know you can't get so deep into it.
I can take that.
Love for you to care, because we need to change the state of Texas. We want people that are innocent. We've got thousands of people who have signed this. People don't just sign stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll turn them in for you.
Texas is going to kill an innocent man tomorrow, and we just want to make sure that the governor knows that voters on both sides are saying that this needs to end.
Okay.
There's too much doubt here, and the Eighth Amendment is in question. And we just tell the governor. So.
Yes, sir. I will. I'll turn them in for you. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So we've delivered the petitions to the governor's ceremonial office. We saw the governor's aide step out. She said she would get those to him, to his office. And I tried to appeal to her. I tried to ask her, hey, I'm not talking to anybody else but you, and would you care about this? And of course, I can't get too deep into it. When will our elected officials get deep into their oath? When will our elected officials get deep into the issues instead of hiding behind the officials? Guys and gals, the movement will not stop. We will continue to say, save Robert. But it's been a very cold response here at the Texas State Capitol. I do not feel like my taxes are being used appropriately. I'm here with all of you in mind. Sharon, Abe, Charles. I'm here with all of our brothers and sisters on my heart. Melissa Lucio, Rodney Reed. Something we could do to make the governor truly understand. Wouldn't that the petitions help? We hope that the social media blast help, that the calls help keep making all of the calls. Do not stop the phone from ringing. We're right here from where the phone rings. And let your voice be heard, that this is a travesty, that Texas continues to kill people inside of the county jail, inside of the prisons, on death row. Everybody that's with me today has done time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Everybody with me has done time in administrative segregation. And we are simply here to amplify Robert's name, his innocent claim, his cause. Please update it with Death Penalty Action as we continue to chase these executions around the country, not only to organize community members involved in the movement to stop executions, but because there are friends and supporters who have been amplifying their loved one's name for so long and they haven't had any help. We chase executions to provide that help. It's really hard to fight against an execution. It's really tough. And Death Penalty Action is committed to ending the death penalty. If you don't know much about DPA, about Death Penalty Action, we've already had success around the country. We ask you, we implore you to stay updated with us as we chase executions, as we chase innocent claims, because guys and gals are innocent. And these elected officials have a constitutional obligation to uphold their oaths, ensure that these egregious violations do not happen. This is disappointing. We traveled all the way here. They could have invited me in for water or for coffee. People are here at the Capitol having a good time, showing their kids, showing their family members the beauty of the space, and don't know the elected officials in this compliant in killing in Maine. Abe, I feel defeated, but I'm here with you in the fight, brother. Charles, I'm here with you in the fight. I'm thinking about Melissa Lucio. Like, should I have said something about Melissa just now, you know? Said something about Rodney. My heart is broken, but there's more work to be done. Thank you all for watching, for supporting, for signing the petition. Please continue the calls to the governor's office. And please do not stop. Do not stop amplifying the need to stop executions, the need to end executions, to end the death penalty. I challenge you all to find 2 or 3 new people in your local jurisdiction that would be interested in helping us battle against this injustice. If you're far, please come and meet me in Washington, D.C. next summer for the Starving for Justice rally, where we will amplify Robert's name in memory. Most of us know somebody that's suffering a disability. And this is wrong. This is wrong. I cried when Ivan Cantu was killed. I cried when Will Spear gained a stay of execution. We're looking to stand up for all our guys and all our gals that are such horrible injustice. Thank you. This relay of the race, and I'll see you all tomorrow in Huntsville.
That's right.
Thank you, Shavas. Thank you, brother, for who's behind the camera. We're grateful for both of you, and also to Miranda, who was there earlier outside with the petitions and meeting the media. We're grateful that you made the trip and that you got there safely to be there in Austin. And hopefully it's not too late. The governor can still issue a reprieve if he chooses to do so. And also the courts can still intervene. And maybe there will be enough traction with this and with public pressure to get the governor to halt this. And maybe the court will still order a evidentiary hearing, as they did in other cases when it came down to the wire, like Melissa Lucio and Rodney Reed. It is not too late. So Shavas, thank you very much for being there, and to our brother behind the camera. What is your name?
DJ.
DJ?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Well, we're grateful for you and for both of you for making it possible for people around the world watching to be a part of this petition delivery with you. Thank you for being our eyes and our ears and our feet on the ground in Austin, Texas. And we'll let you guys go. And hopefully we will not see you tomorrow. But if it comes down to this, then we'll be appreciating your bringing the world to Huntsville, Texas with us to see, as we witness and stand vigil opposed to the execution of Robert Robertson and every other execution.
So,
Thank you, Abe. Thank you, Death Penalty Action. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. I could say more names. Thank you all who continue to join us in the fight. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you. Save Robert.
And there you have it. Shavas Watson, Working Group 512, and also volunteer for Death Penalty Action. He was inviting everybody as well to come to the annual fast and vigil to abolish the death penalty at the U.S. Supreme Court. That's every year from June 29th to July 2nd. You can get information about that at abolition.org. But now it's really on all of us. There's 2 executions tomorrow at the same time. One in Alabama, Derek Dearman, who has waived his appeals and is hoping that his execution will bring some healing to the families and the community where his terrible crime occurred. But also at the same exact time, Robert Robertson in Texas, both scheduled for 6 p.m. Central Time, which means that we will go live with our virtual vigil starting at 5 p.m. Central Time, where you'll hear from experts on the issue as well as leaders in Texas and Alabama sharing about what's happening, and as well people from various faith traditions sharing their prayers and hopes for a better world, that we all need to create and work together to create. So that's the way to get on that is you'll be emailing out, look at the Death Penalty Action social media for the link to sign and register for that. I encourage you to register early and get on early because with the execution of Marcellus Williams in Missouri, we by far exceeded our capacity. There were over 5,000 registrations for that Zoom vigil, and we only had space for 500. So, it pretty much maxed out the whole time. People kept trying to get in, but you can also always watch them on our YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and various other channels. So watch for that. But even before, you see on the ticker right below here, there's the phone number for Governor Abbott. It's running on here. Call Governor Abbott. Keep his phone ringing all day long. 512-463-2000, and ask him to halt this execution. He has the power, even without the recommendation of the Board of Pardons and Paroles. Governor Abbott can halt this execution and for I think 30 days at least, and or maybe it's at most, but he can do a 30-day reprieve without needing anybody's approval. If you did not hear earlier, the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles released its recommendation, which was a recommendation against granting clemency, which ties the hands of Governor Abbott. He can't grant clemency without a recommendation. Not that we would necessarily expect that. It's historically in Texas, there have been, I think, 592 executions since the first one in 1982, the first Texas execution in the current era, 1982. There have been almost 600 executions. And in that time, there have been exactly 5 recommendations for clemency, and only 3 of those were granted. So it's next to unheard of to get a recommendation for clemency. And what we've seen previously is in cases like these with Rodney Reed and Melissa Lucio, I think the governor sort of whispers over to the court and says, "Get this off my desk." And they intervene and issue a stay and order an evidentiary hearing, which finally took place for Rodney Reed. And that judge did not recommend relief, and there's still legal battles happening. There was just an argument in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in the Rodney Reed case back in August, so I'm going to hear about that sometime at some point soon. And of course, Melissa Lucio has she was also ordered an evidentiary hearing, and that didn't happen. And why didn't that happen? Well, because the prosecutor in Cameron County, Brownsville, Texas, Cameron County, Louis Sines, actually has become the hero in that case. We were down there holding vigil for Melissa Lucio every single day leading up to that, and he just would never look at the case. Even one day, we actually with John Lucio we got to talk with him out in the parking lot as he came out to go to his lunch, and he said he would look at it, but he never did until the court ordered him to look at it. And when the court ordered him to look at it, it was only a matter of months. By December of 2022, so this was her date was April 27th, 2022, and on April 25th, we were all standing outside that office that we were just there where Shavas was, and we heard the recommendation of the court. So the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles never released its recommendation because, and we were all waiting for that, and the court intervened and ordered the evidentiary hearing. Anyway, at that point, Louis Sines, the prosecutor at Cameron County, had to look and had to defend that case and found out that he could not. In fact, he discovered evidence that they had withheld that would have led to her acquittal. And in December of 2022, he signed a draft order with the Innocence Project attorneys, asking the court to throw out her conviction and to and then it sat for 6 months. Well, a judge, just for whatever reason, did not sign it. We'll find out about that at some point, why she didn't sign it. But that's why in March of this year, Louis Sines, the prosecutor, is the one who released that to the media, because I think he was waiting, and I wish we had maintained, but we stopped because Melissa asked us to stop. But I would have been banging the drum outside that courthouse every single day, and we still should be, in my view. But they replaced the judge, and that judge has the new judge is actually the judge who signed her death warrant, who sentenced her to death, and so now you have the prosecutor, the current county prosecutor, the actual county prosecutor that prosecuted her went to prison. Armando Villalobos went to prison on corruption charges. So the current county prosecutor and the judge in charge of the case now have both signed with the defense a draft order to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, and we're waiting for them to approve that. And hopefully Melissa will be coming home. But the point, and the reason I'm saying this is because the court can intervene and halt this. We can't put public pressure on the court, but we can put it on the governor. And that's why we all need to call 512-463-2000 and ask Governor Abbott to stop this execution. So please do that. I want to invite you again to visit deathpenaltyaction.org. That's where you can go to sign petitions in all the upcoming executions. I think we have a total of 9 more executions now that Idaho has set another date for Thomas Creech for November 13th. So we've got executions in South Carolina and Idaho and Alabama, and there's probably more in Texas. So you can find all that at deathpenaltyaction.org. And of course, if you value the work that we do and us bringing this petition delivery to you live, I want to invite you to please go to deathpenaltyaction.org and make a donation to help us do this work. I sent Shabazz gas money so that he would have money for food and gas to be able to do this on our behalf. I wish I could put him on salary. I don't have that much money. We are hand to mouth at this organization. We don't get the big grants. What we get is people like you and me. I donate to our organization $18 just the other day. But $5, $50, $500, $50,000, whatever you got, we will put to use in, if not stopping executions, then shining a spotlight on them. We're not attorneys. It's attorneys that executions. But what we're seeing now is that it doesn't matter how good your attorney is. If you have mega organizations like the Innocence Project, which have all the money in the world millions of dollars that they can sink into this, and that they did put all kinds of resources into stopping this execution. And even with all of that, we're still up against a court system that doesn't want to hear it. So God bless the Innocence Project. God bless everybody that's involved in defending all of these capital cases. We appreciate what the lawyers do, but then there's the stuff that we do. And what we do is shine a spotlight on it and put the tools in the hands of everyday people to be able to rise up and speak out against executions. That's what Death Penalty Action was created to do, to provide tools and education and resources and leadership in the movement to abolish the death penalty. So that's why we're here. And if you support us, we can keep doing this stuff. And if you don't support us, we'll keep doing this stuff, but it might be a little bit slower and more rinky-dink than it already is. But in any case, what we know, just before I sign off, is once again, We still need, we're going to deliver more petitions. So if you haven't signed a petition yet, go to bit.ly/Robert Robertson or find the petition at deathpenaltyaction.org and go there, sign the petition, share it, share on the social media, on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and wherever you go, whatever platform you're on. We need to make sure that the whole world is watching, and register to be on the virtual vigil tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock Central Time. And we'll bring you live to the prison outside the Walls unit in the Huntsville unit in Huntsville, Texas. That's tomorrow. God forbid, hopefully something will stop this execution. So keep everybody involved, the legal team and Robert and his wife Manuela and everybody that's involved. And also, she doesn't want to be known for it, but our friend who is the spiritual advisor who is with Robert Robertson also, and of course the corrections workers who know and have to carry this out, and they know that it's wrong, and yet they have to do their job. Keep them in your prayers too. We got to do all we can.